Hello everybody, Andy here from Glass Half Dead. The biggest, number oneest, most coolest kill team channel on the internet. Unless of course you are aware of any other channel on the internet. So look, I should have covered this yesterday, but I made a mistake, okay? I thought we had different posts of the leaks, okay? And I thought that the Catan, which by the way, as soon as that was posted on Reddit, like 2 hours later, Warcom posted it. So if you want to go and see that now, you can see it on, I think they posted on Instagram. So you can see the actual official picture of that, as opposed to the crappy quality leaks that we had yesterday. Go check that out. But I thought that was its own thing. I thought that was from Tomb World. And so that was a separate leak to these. And this is the Sisters, which are not called Sisters. They're called Celestian Insidiators. And the Raptors, whatever they're called. And I'm going to talk about these, and I'm going to look at what they have, and we're going to talk about the teams. So, this isn't really a leaks video, because we've all seen this yesterday. There you go. However, this is me kind of speculating, postulating, hypothesizing, you know, using the scientific method to see what we might see from these two teams. Because this is kind of the best bit of leaks. Guessing. If we just had the rules, there's not really much to talk about. It's like, okay, well, everybody go and read the rules. That's not really my thing, you know? Like, frankly, I do my absolute best. Every time I get review content, I do my absolute best to not just read the rules to you. So I think that's really quite dull, and you can do it yourself. I try to add a little bit of zest to them. Whereas this is pure guesswork, baby. Fun stuff. So in case you don't know, we have the Insidiator Celestians. Insidiator just means like ambushes. There you go, we've got them. And we have the, I can't remember what these are called. Damn, Assassin Squad? Commando Assassins? I'm not sure. We obviously have the very amusingly named Senor del Chaos, which, so the majority of this video, by the way, is going to be me trying to guess what the Spanish means. That's this video. I could have Google translated the images. I didn't want to. I thought it would be funnier to have me guess, because that's all we've got here. We've got vibes and humor. God damn, it's going to be a tough video, isn't it? I apologize immediately. I know we just have a little chat about, you know, do we think these look interesting? Are these what we wanted from these teams? And then a little chat about leaks in general, I suppose. Let's get straight into it and not dilly-dally. So, Superioria. This is your Sister Superior. So importantly, this is a 9-model team, which means it's the same as Scouts, which means I think that GW picks the power level of its teams very specifically. And when they say a team has 9 models, they're actually making a statement with that. They could have balanced this team around being 10 models. Guaranteed in the box there will be 10 models. But they said no. Sisters of Battle, which are now all in power armor, are stronger and better than everything else that is 10 models. So they're better than Kasakin. They're better than all of that. They are stronger. They're the same power level, if you think of in-universe power ratings, as Scouts. And Scouts are stronger than Kasakin. Cool. So 9 models, very cool. The only option here is your Sister Superior, who can take a Lanzesticas Condensian Reliquae. Don't know what that is. There you go. And a bolter pistol and a nullification mace. What is that? I don't know. Or you could take an Inferno pistol and a nullification mace. So I'm guessing that the Inferno pistol is going to be a 3-inch melter. Some pigeons doing it on my balcony. Anyway, moving on. And then we get to pick from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dudettes, sorry, and we can pick 8. So I'm guessing this here says incendiario and combatant can be taken more than once. Cool, love it. I'm not even going to look at their archetypes because by the time this comes out, we're going to have the approved ops that are new. So anything I say about, oh, well, this team could play quite well with, take ground, doesn't matter because that won't exist anymore. So here we see your sister superior. Yeah, cool. Nullification mace. Cool. This is almost certainly how you're going to want to kit them out. We obviously don't know what the other loadout is. I don't know. Is it? Because we see it here as well. Does that mean flamer? No, that can't mean flamer because that's not a flamer. So we can guess what this is. This is probably a limited 1 silent shot. And it's probably a bolter, and then just a bolter after that, which is fine. That seems cool. Lovely. And then we go to their other. Now this is obviously the artwork that we saw. This middle lady, very cool. I do really like this, I must say. So power sword, shield. The question is, what level of shield is she going to get? Is she going to get fight first double block or just double block? And is she going to get +1 to her armor save? So instead of being 3s, she'll be 2s. That's every possible iteration of a shield we've seen. +1 to armor save, block 2, fight first. And the question is, what of those 3 abilities of a shield will she get? We get this. I've got no idea what this looks like. I would say a standard bearer, but this is your standard bearer. And I have no idea. Oh. Vara de Munición. I don't know what that could even mean at all. Wait, is this a giant mace? This could be a pretty hefty close combat team in that case, because we've got obviously close combat with a double-handed sword, double-handed mace, shield. This is your comms, pretty clearly. And then we have the ones that you can take 2 of, or so I guess, which is your nullification mace and your flamer pistol. Or you can do what I assume is nullification mace and that kind of bolter with a limited. Okay, so that's going to mean that you can either kit out your ladies with flamer pistols or with silent limited 1 and then just a normal bolter pistols. In general, unless that silent 1 shot is extra special, you're probably going to want the flamer. But it then also depends, are they going to get special rules? Obviously, the reason flamers are generally bad, unless they are 5 dice, or they have like blaze or something and do extra damage. I kind of guess this team won't, because there's clearly enough going on with this team that they will do something else. And so far we haven't had a team just straight up steal something. The closest we got was Sanctifiers, who got Blaze, which is relatively similar in a way to what the Flamers from Novitiates got. Although maybe this is a sisters team, so they will get special Flamers as well. Also, Nullification Mace. What will a Nullification Mace do? Will it actually do something to Psychers? Will maybe there all be shock or stun? Something like that. That could be interesting. Cool. And then we go on to the Commandos of Assassins. I don't know what that means, but let's assume Commandos of Assassins with Mr. the Chaos. Does Del mean the? That's what I'm assuming this means. Senor del Chaos is Mr. the Chaos, which I think is a great name. Mr. Chaos. So, again, actually, this is a very interesting loadout and roster panel because there's so many models here. This is more operatives. This is potentially more operative loadouts than Death Watch. Which of course should be noted, Deathwatch, we know, are a 5 model team. This is a 6 model team. Interesting. I would not have guessed that. I would have guessed they were going to be 5. Because they have jump packs. How can they be... Maybe they're going to be the Phobos armor style of Chaos. So they're going to be 12 wounds. I have to assume maybe that's the thing. Because otherwise, how are you balancing what I assume is going to be the same as Vespid Fly? Right? So they all teleport 6 inches. Or they charge 8. But just through walls, because that's how Fly is worded. It's straight up a teleport. So there has to be a negative. And I think it could, although they are clearly wearing the same armor as Legionaries, canonically and just very visibly they are, perhaps there be 12 wounders. Anyway, let's go through it. So our leader can have bolt pistol or plasma pistol, and if you take that, you can have, I don't know, Gara, so that claw, single claw, and a Puno de Energia o Arma de Energia. I don't know what Puno is. In a sense, I would say we are all lacking Poon. Oh. Or we can obviously take what he's kitted out with there, which is 2 relic claws. Yeah, fine. Oh, some people have criticised the looks of this team. I've got to be honest, they're not jumping out to me as cool dudes. Yeah. But they are jumping out. Now that I've said that, they are jumping. So, fair play. But yeah, they're not really, for me, you know, very, very rarely have I actually been disappointed in a GW model when I have it in my hands. Even Lieutenant Titus, who I ridiculed mercilessly, when I had the model in hand, I was like, you know what? He's not that bad. He's okay, actually. And I think these guys are going to be the same. I think they'll be fine. But they're not like jumping out at me. If you tell me you're going to do all new Raptors, I'm thinking, okay, I quite liked the look of the jump pack intercessors, so these will be equally good. They look a bit silly. Look at this pose. What is this? It's like, anyway, okay. And then we can choose between Campion, who I'm going to guess is Warrior. And you can, no. Who's Campion? Let's have a look. This guy. What's Campion? You can take a plasma and a energy sword. Oh, sorry, there are asterisks. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 next to a plasma, a fusion, which is a Mel's rifle, and a plasma. And then we see no puedas. I'm not even going to try, sorry. I believe this is because it has the word DOS 2. So I assume this means you can only take 2 of these. There you go. Oh, and also, of course, we have Rapaz, which I'm just going to guess means Raptor. You can take as many Rapaz as you want, because if we go and look at Rapaz, there you go, bolter pistol, and Espada, that means sword. That's a guess, just to be clear, but I assume that means sword. Sierra, which of course is a computer game company from the 90s, so that's pretty advanced. So there we go. So I don't know what a Campion is, but you can either take a bolt pistol or a plasma pistol and a Puno energy sword, or armadillo. No, that's going to be one of these. That's going to be claws, right? I don't know. Maybe. A Gara Maldita. Let's see what the hell that is. Oh, okay. He's like, you're possessed. Cool. Now, I've got to say, I don't like this at all. I think bird legs, not a good look. I look at this, I just think my man skipped leg day pretty hard. and that's funny instead of intimidating. And you know what? Arms, kind of skinny. We know that GW can do good possessed models because the possessed models themselves look amazing. This ain't it. This guy skipped leg day and arm day. That's not cool, but fine. He will have a feel no pain, where if you roll a 5 up, he takes 1 less damage. There you go. That's fun, isn't it? We have a Depredor. Yep, okay. What the hell is that? That is a guy with a big chain axe. Oh, you know, okay, that's not what I thought that was going to be almost like, and you know, I see Depredor, I think Deprecation. I'm thinking he's your debuffer. But no, he just has a giant bloody axe. So he's probably a guy that hits pretty hard. He's your 7 on the crit guy. Fair enough. We've got a Maestro Kazador. Oh yes, Master. Can I guess what Kazador is? Kazador. We're gonna say a Kazador. Duelist? Is that like? I don't know. So fine, whatever. So this guy also has a big weapon. It's not as big as the axe, but it is a big weapon. It's a bit more nimble, a bit more subtle. Maybe he gets strike first. That feels like what he might be doing there, you know? Cool. And we have a Rapaz. Now we know that's a, well, we know that's a strong, that's a bold sentence. We assume that means Raptor. So he's your normal warrior, right? And you can go bolt pistol and chain axe, chain sword, or you could go plasma pistol and chain sword. So really, the question on this team is, where do you want to have your plasma pistols? I think. We then get an Estridente, which is, okay. So I'm seeing Estridente. I'm seeing Stride. Therefore, I think he's your vanguard. He gets some sort of forward deploy, or he's just faster than everybody else in some form. He has little wing flaps, which I noticed the guy next to him also has little wing flaps, but not everybody has those. Okay, most people have them. Some, 50-50. Okay, ignore the wing flaps. So he's just got a bolt pistol. So clearly this guy has some sort of special rule that makes him better than a Raptor in some way. Interesting. We don't know what way. I'm going to guess Strider. He's Aragorn. There you go. Nailed it. And then we get the Ignifero, which is clearly the gunner, but you get the option of a Lanzalamas, which by, you know, elimination is your flamer, or you can take a fusion gun, which I'm just going to guess is Melter, straight up, or you could take a plasma rifle. Noting with all of those that you do also get a bolt pistol, which is standard for Chaos. That's good. Oh, and Puno must mean fist then. Okay, so if we go back up to Campion here, Puno de Energia must mean, therefore, fist of energy. Do they get energy fists? And then what does Garas mean? Man. Okay. And then we get the Espolon de la Disformidad. This is a guy with lightning claws. You're welcome. I'm glad I could clear that one up for you. Great stuff. And that's the two teams. Now, I want to have a very quick chat for those of you that are still with me after having me go through all of that. Is firstly, I thought I was going to have a tough time here. There's only three of you left here, to be clear. So it's just me and you guys. Nobody stayed around for all this, right? I thought I was going to have a real tough time this week of like trying to make up things to talk about. And so I actually didn't post a second video this week. I was only going to do the Monday one. And then I was doing a little... Sorry, let me embiggen myself again. Engorge myself, if you will. I was doing... I did this. This is the orb. because you know we were doing approved ops. I just got this turn up from eBay. I was like, oh, that's my orb. Put it on a 40mm base. Boom, done. I was going to do a whole thing, do a whole bit. Now I don't need to, obviously, because now it's been a 3-video week, which is actually a normal week for me, which is insane to be clear, but I should stop doing that. And then all of the leaks drop, and I want to talk about leaks a little bit. These leaks are fun. However, in general, I do not like leaks, odd as it might sound. So I've covered these willingly and fun and happy. You know, it's like, oh, cool. We get little bits, little tidbits. We don't really know anything. And for me personally, I like to know the upcoming hobby. So if I'm like, oh, I've seen the models, cool. If I want to, I can now begin my hobby journey on these. If I see, for example, the Gara Maldita, I might think this guy looks crap. It's like, okay, well, I'm now going to go and buy a box of Possessed, and I'm going to take one of them and put them on a 32mm base, and that's now going to be my guy. And then I'm going to wait for these to turn up, and then I'm going to put the backpack, the mutated backpack on him. But he's a cooler model, looks much beefier. That's going to be my Gara Maldita. So I really like that in a sense. And this guy, maybe I'm doing a loyalist team. This guy, it just looks like a standard loyalist. Like, oh, cool, I'm going to go and buy a blade guard for this guy. Very cool. And I now know that because we've seen this, oh, wow, I need this many models and I need this many guns and this many options. So for me, this is genuinely all positive. But we know that whoever leaked all of this, because if we scroll here, right, this is a person. Oh, you can't see, sorry, wait, how can I turn so you can see it? Right, thumb, there you go, thumb. We know that whoever this is has the whole book very clearly, and they took these pictures and they sent it to somebody. Maybe it was a friend and then that friend passed it on. Maybe it was deliberately leaked to, you know, Facebook, Reddit, etc., knowing that it's almost impossible to trace these things back. But it means that they 100% have access to and have probably already leaked all of the data sheets and the core rule, not the cores, the faction rules, etc. So that is the only weird thing is that it's not out yet. To me, that is a step too far. I think that doesn't make any sense. If those get released, I won't even talk about them. I can talk about these because it's fun leaks. It's productive. I genuinely think it builds hype. I would like to see GW lean into giving us a little bit more information further out, at the very least, as I've said and pleaded for before, in the form of at least a roadmap. There's so much they could give us. Like, look at this. Look at this here. That is a perfect roadmap thing. Give us that. Give us that. We can speculate for ages. And then closer to the time, as you update your roadmap with every new release every 3 months, when this is the next team, swap out the symbol for like one of the weapons, you know, and be like, oh wow, okay, now we can see, oh right, okay, so it's a filigreed power claw. That's probably chaos, at least, and maybe a raptor, maybe a chaos lord, we don't know. But like, there's so much they could be doing to build hype within the community, and they just don't do it, and I genuinely don't know why. I think they are genuinely missing a trick. And obviously at the moment, I like this level of leaks. If they actually just give us the full rules for the teams, that to me that's a bit dull, so I won't talk about those. But yeah, there you go. Everybody has their own limits on these, of course. Some people just literally want everything. They want 100%. They want to know everything, 100% of everything, you know, for 2 years out. As soon as GW has written it down, they want to know it, which is fine, I suppose. I'm not quite that much myself, but I understand the logic. But I do think, like, lately, the Warcom articles in the week leading up to the reveals, I think, are actually pretty good and very complete, if we're being honest, for rules. So if we look back at Typhon, we knew almost 100% of the team before we actually got the previews. I think GW is doing a very good job of teasing us for the rules and the mechanics in the build up to the preview. So I actually like what they're doing there. It's just the further out things that should be on a roadmap that I think they're still lacking on. It is what it is. Presumably they have solid sales data that says that when they do that they lose money, in which case we can't really argue with that, can we? Fair play. But that's what I would like to see from them, that's all. So this is cool, this is awesome. I am hyped for both of these teams, and I think actually Sisters more than Chaos. I'm looking forward to the Sisters on this one, because I have a Sisters army, right? Although I will say they are both currently overshadowed by Deathwatch, who I am more interested in. There we go. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you next week as we return to our regularly scheduled programming, I guess, of me talking about something like how to prepare for the new approved ops and a whole new game. And I talk about making an orb. Yeah, okay.